We are 100.3 WVZM, where all you hear is Memphis music. If you just take the time to tune in to 100.3 or go over to WVZM.org. So if you're visiting Memphis as a tourist and you want to take some Memphis back home with you, and you know barbecue's kind of messy, you've always got our music on the radio.
Absolutely.
And today we have Memphian McKenna Bray, born and bred in the Big M town, getting ready to head out on the road for a tour with Zach Pietrini.
I think that's how you pronounce
Wisconsin.
it.
Well, you've been talking to him every week for months.
I've been calling him Zach.
And you also are, not many people know this, but you're a painter. You studied oil paintings when you were in school in Italy.
Yes.
And I know
I sound so pretentious. I'm really not.
Well, but we were talking, I've thrown this idea at McKenna a time or two. So, anyone listening, feel free to chime in. I think what you ought to do is have a wine tasting, art show with wines that you love, with art that you've painted, while maybe you also pick up your guitar and sing serenade us with some new songs.
That sounds like my dream world, honestly. Those are my three favorite things in life.
Seems like it would be a great way to have patrons who wanted to support you and see your career advance. I don't know.
I think you're onto something. Thinking. Yeah. I love it.
Something a little different.
Yeah. I think people would actually want to come.
I would.
Good. Okay. I've got one.
I think people would pay good money to be there. And be supportive. But seriously, you were talking about the wine and music a while ago, but what about painting and that process? Do you create from scratch, or do you take a picture of a beautiful scene and try to recreate that? Or
I do.
I know nothing about this process.
Yeah, I do both. Like when I first started out, I would always copy something because I didn't understand how do you paint something from nothing? But that's same with songwriting. Like it's not existing yet and you got to bring it into the world, and same with painting. And so I would say like when I started getting trained in oil painting, you basically just paint what you see. But now I've been starting to paint more abstract and just kind of whatever comes to mind. I love painting florals, and so
we're not talking Picasso abstract.
No. Like I paint like, I would say, like what kind of, that's so hard to describe. Yeah, definitely not Picasso, but I like an abstract contemporary meets traditional. All three of those in one world. Like I love just your typical vase and flowers, but the way that I've learned is like I tend to overwork my painting and just not letting too many details get in my way. Does that make sense? So sometimes maybe there's artists out there like, yeah, totally. One time I was painting with acrylics, and acrylics dry really fast compared to oils. Oils are way easier to blend because it's like it takes forever for it to dry. So the consistency is different. And so when I paint with acrylics, I have had to learn to kind of let the painting do the talking.
Interesting.
Versus with oils, you can be a little bit more direct with what you want. And so I've honestly had really big revelations that have come through painting where that's like, I want something to go this way, but it doesn't go that way. But yet it's a more unique thing. And I wouldn't have come up with that.
I feel that way about interviews.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go in with a plan, and it's like, if I'm not careful, you have to let the plan be disrupted.
Totally. It's healthy, to have a plan in mind because it's a good starting place. But I've learned to just let things happen. And it just feels like you don't need all that control in your life. It's more freeing that way.
Well, let me ask you this. I heard someone, and I cannot remember who talked about painting only I believe in black and white, or maybe it was photography, and only doing photography in black and white. And the idea was that limiting your palette actually caused you to be more creative.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like what you're talking about between oils, and
totally.
that acrylic is a limiting factor.
I definitely feel like it limits me. I don't know if it limits other artists, but I totally agree with that. Same with like a budget. When you've got limited means, you got to be creative on how to have a date night or how to do fun vacations. So it's like the same.
It's like you need
concept.
Little boundaries or a border from, because if your canvas is too expansive, it's like, what the heck do I do next? I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you say, okay, I can only go here, now you can start creating.
Totally.
Sounds like a good life lesson somewhere in there.
I think so.
Well, let's hear some more music, very artistic music. Just envision the colors on the canvas, the paints that are just about to come alive through your speakers. This is McKenna Bray at 100.3 WVZM.
I've never seen a shooting star before. I kept waiting, but nothing seemed to soar. Me, myself, and I, that's all I ever wore. Until I met you, I've never been in love before. 'Cause you're my I've never done more than hold a hand. My father said to wait for a special man. Me, myself, and I, that was no more. Since I met you, I've never felt so in love before. 'Cause you're my once in a blue moon, a spotlight in a crowded room, winter snow in the month of June. 'Cause you're my once in a blue moon. I was told to wish upon the first star you see. One will come along if you wait patiently. A light will shine, a love will come and sweep you off your feet if you just wait and see. 'Cause you're my